Hello everyone. Today I'm going to deal with body fluids and circulation, one of the important topics in zoology for NEET. There are different transport systems, but in our daily life, transport system is very important for the transport of essential commodities. Whichever the items we are using, including vegetables, it is coming from faraway places. So, and the waste materials which are produced in our houses and factories and other shops, it should be removed. So, a transport system is important for in our daily life. The same way, a transport system is there in our body, that is called the circulatory system. So there are two type of circulatory system in our body. Circulatory system, that is blood vascular system and lymphatic system. So these are the two type of circulatory system in our body. So first we will deal about blood vascular system. So blood vascular system consists of heart, blood and blood vessels. These are the important components of blood vascular system. So first we will deal with heart. So here location of heart. So our heart is located in thoracic cavity just above the sternum, in between the lungs. Our heart is the upper part of the heart, that is wide, and it is called base, and the lower narrow part is called apex. So apex is facing towards the left side. The lower narrow part is called apex, which is facing towards the lower left side. So that's why, and here the heartbeat is more. So that's why we feel heartbeat in the left side, and people believe that heart is located in the left side of our chest. Actually, heart is located at the center of the chest cavity, and the lower narrow portion is pointing towards the left side. That's why we feel heartbeat at the left side. So heart is not located at the left side. And here always the left side. This is left side, and this is a right side of the heart. So the left side of the heart contains always oxygenated blood, and a right side of the heart contains deoxygenated blood. Now when we come to the structure of heart, first we will see from outer part. Our heart is covered by a double membrane. This membrane is called pericardium. So pericardium is also made up of two layers, outer layer and inner layer. Outer layer is called parietal pericardium, and inner layer is called visceral pericardium. In between this pericardium, a fluid is present. That fluid is present called pericardial fluid. So this fluid lubricates the surface of the heart, and also it prevents the attachment of these two membranes during the heartbeat. And our heart is always beating. So our heart is touching the thoracic wall and also the sternum and the ribs. So we are not feeling any friction due to the presence of this pericardial fluid. This pericardial fluid prevents friction between the wall of heart and our ribs. Now when we come to the, and also this pericardial fluid absorbs shock and prevents our heart from mechanical shock. Then when we come to the internal structure of heart, The internal structure of heart shows four chambers, and this is the right side and this is the left side. There are four chambers, and this is left atrium, and this is left ventricle, and this is right atrium and a right ventricle. So left side upper chamber is called a left atrium, and lower chamber is called a left ventricle, and in right side right atrium and right ventricle. Upper chambers are receiving chambers. Upper chambers will receive the blood, and lower chambers, ventricles, are called as pumping chambers. They pump the blood to different parts of the body. And here there is a partition wall between left side and the right side. So there is a partition wall between right atrium and left atrium. So this partition wall, this is called a interatrial septum. Interatrial septum. Septum means wall. It is a wall between left atrium and right atrium. The same way, one more wall is present between right and left ventricle. It is called a interventricular septum. So interatrial or interauricular septum, interventricular septum between left and right ventricle. And there is another wall between right atrium and right ventricle. This is called atrioventricular septum. This is right side, so we say right atrioventricular septum. The same way, one more septum wall is there. Here this is called left atrioventricular septum, left AV septum. So now when we come to the internal structure, so there are four partitions, there are four walls: interatrial septum, interventricular septum, right atrioventricular septum, left atrioventricular septum. So these are the walls. And now when we come to the internal structure, we have to study about the blood vessels. Important blood vessels entering and leaving the heart. And here this is right ventricle, and here right ventricle pumps deoxygenated blood, and this is called pulmonary artery. So pulmonary artery carries deoxygenated blood from right ventricle to lungs. Then here two more important veins are there. They are called vena cava. So here this is superior vena cava. So vena cava is formed by the union of large number of small veins, and they bring deoxygenated blood to the right auricle. So here superior vena cava, also known as precaval vein. Precaval vein, it brings deoxygenated blood from head, neck and arms to the right auricle. And this is inferior vena cava or postcaval vein. So this vein is also formed by the union of large number of small veins from the lower part of our body, which brings blood from our chest, our abdomen and from our legs and our lower parts of the body to the right atrium. Then the next one is pulmonary vein. This is the only vein which carries oxygenated blood. All other veins carry deoxygenated blood in our body, and this vein carries blood from lungs to left atrium. Here, so pulmonary artery carries deoxygenated blood to the lungs, and here oxygen is added and that oxygenated blood is carried by pulmonary vein to the left atrium, and left atrium pumps blood to left ventricle. Then the another important artery, this is aorta. This is the largest artery in our body. This originates from left ventricle. Aorta start from left ventricle, and left ventricle pumps oxygenated blood to all other body parts. All the body parts get oxygenated blood from left ventricle. So that's why, so when we say about the left ventricle, the wall of left ventricle is thicker than any other wall, because left ventricle pumps blood to all the body parts, and in order to exert pressure and or in order to withstand that pressure, the wall of left ventricle is thicker compared to all other walls of heart. And now we have to study about the valves, important valves. In order to control the flow of blood in single direction, there are valves in our heart. Always valves helps to allow the blood to flow in single directions. And here there is a valve between right atrium and right ventricle, and this is called a tricuspid valve. This tricuspid valve is located at right atrioventricular septum, and this allows the flow of blood from right atrium to right ventricle, and it prevents the backward flow of blood. So once the blood enters in right ventricle, bloods do not go to the right atrium because this valve prevents their backward flow. At the same time, blood flows from left atrium to left ventricle, and here there is a valve. This is called a bicuspid valve or mitral valve. So this valve has only two cusps, that's why it is called a two cusp pocket shaped. That's why it is called a bicuspid valve. And here three cusps are there. These three cusps So three cusps are there for this valve, that's why it is called a tricuspid valve. So these two valves prevent the unidirectional flow of blood. That means from right atrium to right ventricle and left atrium to left ventricle, and prevent their backward flow of blood. In addition to this, two more valves are there. One is at the beginning of pulmonary artery, there is a moon-shaped valve, and here also at the beginning of aorta, here is a moon-shaped valve. These are called semi-lunar valve. Semi-lunar, that is half moon-shaped valve, like this. So here, this valve is called a pulmonary semi-lunar valve. And this is called a aortic semilunar valve. So these valves prevent the backward flow of blood. Remember here, this is a right ventricle. So right ventricle pumps blood to pulmonary artery, and once the blood enters in pulmonary artery, this valve will be closed. So blood will not flow back. And here, left ventricle pumps oxygenated blood to aorta, and blood enters in aorta. Once the blood enters in aorta, blood cannot come back because these valves will close. So these semilunar valves prevent the backward flow of blood to the ventricle. Then, now some more other structures which are helping for the unidirectional flow of blood. The inner wall of heart contains projected muscles. These are called papillary muscles. So the projected muscles in the ventricular wall are known as papillary muscles, and here thread-like structures which are connecting the flaps of tricuspid and bicuspid valves to the papillary muscles. These thread-like structures, these are called chordae tendineae. So chordae tendineae are like threads of parachute, which are whitish thread-like structures which are connecting to the flaps of tricuspid and bicuspid valve to the papillary muscles. At the time of contraction of ventricles, so when ventricle contracts, there is a chance of overturning of these valves. So these valves are, tricuspid and bicuspid valves are projecting towards the ventricles. At the time of ventricular contraction, when blood enters in ventricles, ventricles will contract. At that time, there is a chance of overturning of these valves to the auricles. So these thread-like structures called chordae tendineae pull these valves and held in position so that these valves will not turn back, so that blood will not enter in auricles. So that is the function of chordae tendineae. So chordae tendineae prevents the overturning of the flaps of valves into the auricles and prevent the backward flow of blood and keep these valves in position. That is the function. Now, the circulation of blood. So now when we come to the next topic, so this is the internal structure of heart and the number of chambers of heart. When we come to in fishes only two chambers for the heart, one auricle and one ventricle. So when we come to amphibians only three chambers for the heart, two auricles and one ventricles. When we come to reptiles, there are two auricles and the ventricle is incompletely divided. So here also three chambers, two auricles and one ventricle. But in crocodile there is an exception. Crocodile there are four chambers. This is an exception. Then when we come to birds and mammals, there are four chambers, two auricles and two ventricles. So this is an evolutionary change. 2, 3, 3, 4. So thank you.